Each year, more than $500 million is spent in the city of Baltimore on public safety, from police department to the state's attorney's office to jails. But Baltimore still has one of the highest crime rates in the country.
That's why Fox 45 is launching Operation Crime and Justice, a long-term investigation that goes beyond the news of the day to uncover why public safety continues to be threatened year after year. Crime and Justice lead investigative reporter Joy LaPola shows us the human toll crime takes on the city. Joy?
Kai and Jennifer, there are a lot of statistics that are used to describe crime in Baltimore, but every crime, every criminal, and every victim leaves a mark on dozens of people across the city. And for many people, violence and its effects go back generations. In Baltimore, you see numbers, hear numbers.
1, Karim Bonner. 2, Josh Facobia.
Number 34, Owen Creighton.
45, Montrell Rivers.
Measuring where,
82, Paul Smith.
who,
176, Claude Miles III.
and how many.
342, James Woodard.
661, Keith Patterson.
It can feel like too many to count, too many to bear.
1000, Daniel Mulhausen.
Behind each number is a story
1093, Gilbert White.
of a sister, father, a son.
216th murder.
Murder 216 in the year 2016. Amani Grossman, Latresa Scaff's son. Latresa raised a family here along Bonaparte Avenue in East Baltimore. It may not have been sweet, but it was home.
They've seen people get beat up real bad. You know, like I said, bodies. They hear gunshots. They couldn't go outside and play.
Her oldest son, Amani, grew up here.
It was like the life of the family gatherings. Make everybody laugh.
But that brightness began to fade as a teen.
He would talk about the violence every day. You know, like things like, Ma, if you don't get us out this city, I'ma die. I know I'ma die.
Despite those fears, Amani remained resilient. That's Amani making a game-winning basket in a middle school game.
That ended up being one of those games where everyone rushes off the court and everyone's cheering and all that stuff. So that's probably the first memory that I have, or when I think of Amani, that's probably the first memory that I have.
Pablo Gorapecki coached Amani in middle school.
He was the kind of player, you know, coaches dream about.
Away from school, though, Amani faced threats and unshakable street violence. At 13, his life was threatened at knife point, and he never shook what he witnessed while shooting dice one day along his block. Amani described to doctors how, quote, a guy came up and blew another guy's brains out. Doctors later diagnosed Amani with PTSD.
It's really bad and sad.
Amani's evaluation followed one of his 3 arrests by the age of 17. The cases involved an armed robbery, a carjacking, and an alleged sex offense. Prosecutors dropped the charges in all but one case. Amani pled guilty in the sex offense. A judge sentenced him to 10 years but suspended 9 of them. One of his childhood friends was a co-defendant in that case.
That's what kept drawing him back into the city, his childhood friends.
That's why Latresa sent Amani to Virginia to earn his high school diploma.
While he was away in school, he lost maybe like 3 of his close friends to gun violence. So that's when I got nervous about him coming back to Baltimore.
Latresa moved out of the city and into the county in hopes of providing a safer life for her family.
Well, he didn't like it out here. He said it was nothing to do. He was bored.
By 2016, Amani was back in Baltimore with the same childhood friend charged in that sex offense case. This video shows them together on September 14th. Seconds later, shots rang out. Amani's childhood friend stood by and watched as he was murdered.
I felt it. It was horrible. This is the most pain I ever endured in life.
Since the beginning of 2015, almost 1,100 people have been murdered in Baltimore. A single number that doesn't provide a true reflection of the total number of mothers, sons, and friends left wounded.
It made you look in the mirror a little bit and figure out, like, where are we kind of failing them?
Amani's bed just as he left it that day.
I just hug the pillow sometimes because I can still smell him.
In the corner is his jersey.
He loved basketball.
A gift from the team.
He's at the end, number 2. I was picturing him going out of state to college, playing professional basketball.
A similar picture now hangs in the gym at Amani's middle school, behind the team's bench.
He's very much alive. In different places I've written down his name and things like that. So, you know, whenever I'm having a bad day, you might open the book in your notebook and you kind of see him, see his name there, and you kind of remember that there's a reason why we're here and there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing.
This has got to stop. being our meeting place.
This is one of the few spots where families don't want to meet.
Oh, baby.
It's been just over a year and a half since Amani's murder, and family members are gathering again to see Amani's newly placed headstone. It's just one of the grave sites Latresa plans to visit.
Look at my brother.
Loss in this family has been passed down generation to generation.
Oh, my baby.
Latresa's brother was shot and killed in Baltimore in 2003. Her father murdered in 1981.
I don't even know what to do at this point in time. It's too much. Something has to be done with these murders.
Baltimore has lost more than 1,000 people over the past 3 years to murder. Latresa's lost 3. But there's one new number, Amani's son, a child with the same potential as those who've come before him.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
A hope Latresa holds on to.
Lead us not, but deliver us from evil.
And prays this next generation will follow a different path. We told you Amani's story tonight to put a face on the numbers we hear every day. We in no way are trying to minimize the crime Amani pled guilty to committing, but behind each killing in the city, a lifetime of potential has also been lost.
Well, Joy, what stories can we expect from Operation Crime and Justice?
On Thursday, we're looking into a case where a man is accused of committing murder while serving a sentence for assaulting a police officer. The suspect was allowed to serve time on weekends, but was allowed on the streets during the week. Now, if you have a story idea you'd like us to look into, or if you have an example of how the system is working or failing, call our Operation Crime and Justice tip line at 410-662-1456. You can also email us at crimeandjustice@foxbaltimore.com. I'm Joy LaPola, and this is Operation Crime and Justice.